Okay, in today's video I'm going to show you how to make the bridge card. This card was a cutting file that I gave free to my patrons last month, but I thought I'd show you how to make it if you want to try and do one of your own. I'm using the Canvas download program. You could do this in the online version, but I'm going to be using the X and Y axis coordinates to position my dashed lines accuracy, and the online version doesn't have that facility. So I'm going to start off by dragging a rectangle onto the page, and with it selected I'm going to come to the edit icon, which is the second one down here on the right hand side. I'm going to untick maintain aspect ratio, and I'm going to make this 8.25 wide by 4.25 high, and that's the base card. Now I'm going to come up here to where it says position, and I'm going to position it in the 0, 0 under both the X and the Y, and that puts it in the top corner. It just makes it easier for me visually, that's why I do this. Next thing I'm going to do is come to the path icon and select that. I'm going to left click once, hold and let go of the mouse, hold my shift key down so that it will keep this line perfectly straight. I'm going to drag the line down and double click to anchor it. With it selected, I can see here its width is 0, which is correct, and I want the height to be 4.25 because that's the height of the card. With this still selected, I'm going to come up to the top here and I'm going to make it a dash line. Now I'm going to come to the layers panel, which is the fourth icon down on the right hand side, and at the bottom here you've got a plus sign, and that's to duplicate. I'm going to duplicate this 3 more times. So I've now got 4 dashed lines. I'm going to select my first one. I'm going to come back to the editing icon. Using the X and Y coordinates, I'm going to position it at 1.25 and in the Y, 0. So that's now put my first dashed line at 1 1/4. I'm going to select my next one, and I'm going to position this at 2.5 under X and under Y, 0. I'm going to select those 3 elements. I'm going to right click and group, and then I'm going to flip it horizontally so that the dash lines are now over here. I'm going to select my next dash line. I'm going to come back to the X and Y, and I'm going to do 1.25 by 0. And then my last one, I'm going to select, and I'm going to make this 2.5 under the X and under the Y, 0. So now I've got 4 dash lines, and they are positioned at 1 1/4 and 2 1/2 from the left hand side of my card, and 1 1/4 and 2 1/2 from the right hand side of my card. I'm going to select everything and right click and make all that a group now. So that is my base card. Now I just need to make my bridge, so I'm going to come back to the basic shapes, bring on a rectangle, making sure that maintain aspect ratio is still unticked. I'm going to make the width 5.75 and the height 1.25. So that's the bridge part of my card. Now, if you want to make matting layers, each one of these 4 sections where I've put the dash lines are 1 1/4 by 4 1/4. So if you bring on another rectangle, and if you make the width 4 and make the height 1, and then holding the shift key down, rotate this around I'll just make this red in the hope that you might be able to see it better. They will be your matting layers that sit on the front. So you'll need 4 of those. So again, I'm going to come back to the layers, come down to duplicate and duplicate 3 more times. This section in the middle, you need a rectangle that is, and that again I'm going to make red, and that would sit in your middle section there. So that's your matting layer for that. And then this one, you could use the offset icon, but I just prefer to drag another rectangle on. And I'm going to make this one 5.5 by 1. And again, I'll just make it red. And that will be your matting layer for your bridge. So now you just need to save your file and bring that over to your machine and cut it. And there are various ways to save. You would go up to the top and go to File. I would do mine as a transfer file via the internet because I have a Wi-Fi model, or you can do Export FCM. It's entirely up to you. Hi, so in today's video I'm going to show you how to assemble the bridge card. Now this cutting file is a ScanNCut cutting file that I gave to my patrons free recently. So I've cut the 2 components for the card and I just thought I'd show how to put it together. So you've got 2 score lines here and here and here and here. Basically you fold the second score line in and the first score line back, and you do the same on the opposite side. So you fold that one in and you fold that one back, and that is how your card is going to stand, and this becomes the bridge across the front. Now what I've also done, I've done some matting layers to go on the front of the card, so I'll put those on first, and then I've done some fussy cutting with the ScanNCut using the beautiful bird Ballard paper from Stampin' Up, which when I first saw it in the catalogue, I must admit I didn't think I would like, because I'm not really a bird person. I mean, you know, I wouldn't do any harm to them, but I like looking at them in the gardens, but I wouldn't have one as a pet or anything like that. But the paper is absolutely lovely, and it lends itself so well to being fussy cut with your ScanNCut. Now, let me just say, this centre bit here, you can either cut a piece and put that in the middle, and you could do some more stamping or write your greeting, but I would suggest that if you can, remember to write your greeting before you assemble the card. It wouldn't be a great problem. You'd be able to put some glue on and slide it in, but it's probably easier, you know, if you did it before you assemble it. So I'll just apply a little bit of glue and I'll put that in the middle. So that's going to sit in the centre panel. And then I've got a matting layer for my bridge. And the weather here today is absolutely foul. And my craft room is in a kind of like glass room, really. It's like an orangery. So when it's sunny, I have problems with the brightness. And when it's rainy, I have problems with the wind on the glass roof. So that's going to sit on there. Now you can put it wherever you want. I would put it about 1/2 inch up from the bottom. So I'm going to apply a little bit of glue on one end here, only about 1/2 inch in, like so. And I'm going to stick that flush with the outside edge, about 1/2 inch up, as I say. And then the other end is going to stick on here, and that's what makes your card. And then this card folds flat for posting. So the easiest way probably to stick this down is put, as I say, a little bit of glue on the back side of your bridge, and do the same with the other side. Just a little bit of glue, you don't need a lot, about, you know, 1/2 inch down, and then lay this out. And because if you use wet glue, you will have a little bit of wiggle room, you can hopefully get that so it sits straight. And I'll just hold it for a few minutes, and then while that's just setting, I'll show you what I've cut out. I've cut a little bird from the paper, and I've cut lots of flowers from another one of the papers. So I'll just show you. This pack comes in 12 by 12. I cut one of the pieces down to 6 by 6, and you can see all the flowers I've had out of this. So with a ScanNCut, you can make this paper go a whole lot further. And again, the same piece of 12 by 12, I cut it down to 6 by 6, and I've cut some birds out of it. And you can buy this in my online shop. So to make this card stand up, that's how your card will stand, like so. So I'm now going to decorate it up. So I'm going to use the flowers and the little bird. So I'm going to get some of these flowers and see how I can line them up, and what I need and where they're going to go. Might do 3 different colour flowers actually. Might put the flowers on here, something like that. So what I might do, I might stick this one down, but I'm just mindful of where I'm putting the glue, because obviously it's going to overhang a bit. So I'm going to stick that one down like so. This pink one I think I will put on a dimensional. And I think I'll turn it and slightly overlap it. And then this yellow one I think I'll put on the bottom here, and I'll put that on another dimensional. Like so. And then my little bird, I think I'll pop him here, but I might put a little flower underneath him as well. So I think again I'm going to pop him up, and I'm going to pop him here. Just make sure where I've put the dimensional, because I don't want that poking through on the back. And then this flower I'm going to use a mini dimensional. And I'm going to put that, I think, just by his feet, so he kind of looks as though maybe he's sitting on a bit of a branch or something like that. Not sure, let me see. See where I've put my dimensional. Put that there like so. Those I can use for another card. Let me just put my lid on my glue. So there is the finished card. So this will fold flat and go into a regular size envelope, and then it just pops up and sits like that. So as I say, that was a free cutting file I gave to my Patreons, but I just thought I'd show you how to assemble it, and again how to make use of, you know, the beautiful designer series paper, which is the bird ballad. So this is one of the sheets that I've used for the flowers, and that's the other side. The birds, again, with the stripes. You can see that I've been chopping into this already. Another one of the patterns, beautiful. I think this is Pool Party with the yellow on the other side. Feathers with the bird cages on the other side, more flowers with the birds, and more birds on branches, and that's the other side. So it's an absolutely beautiful paper pack and just another way of using it. I hope you like the video. Please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't already do so, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.